Hey guys, I'm Profits from wildprofits.com, and today I'm going to review the new TradeSkillMaster desktop application, where to get it from, how to install it, how to do the initial configuration, and what it actually is. So before we get started, TradeSkillMaster, the desktop application, provides pricing information for you to leverage when you're looking at items to buy or sell them on the auction house in World of Warcraft. So it's very powerful to do that. It also provides some back-end notification on deal notifications based upon groups, provides some backup functionality and restore functionality for TradeSkillMaster files, and it also provides some import or exporting of statistics if you're the spreadsheet type person for sales and so forth. But we're going to review that right now, all of it right together. So step one is, let's get the application. So they recently updated and moved to a new hosting service. So load your favorite browser. I'm going to show you in Chrome. And then it's simply TradeSkillMaster.com. And you should be able to see that at the top of the screen. TradeSkillMaster.com. I'm going to click on that. And then lo and behold, you should see this page, which is the new page for TradeSkillMaster. It has several features at the very top. The first thing you want to do when you come here is you have to create a new account. So even if you had an account on the old site, it doesn't matter. You want to create a new account. So always remember that. Upper right hand corner, user login. Click on that, drop down window or drop down menu, select create an account. When you do create an account, it'll ask you for some basic information. You can see my information is already pre-filled. So you'll create your username. You have to have a valid account. You'll know that it's valid because you notice that it's highlighted in green. When you enter your password, re-enter your password, create account. When that happens, you'll actually get a link to this email address that you have to click on to validate that your email account is valid, and it'll make your account active for this site and this site only. So once you get that email account, it'll come back to this page, and then you'll basically click sign in, enter your information, click the sign in button, and there you have it. Upper right hand corner, you can validate based upon the user ID that you selected that you are now logged in to TradeSkillMaster.com. From here, it gives you some news information on what they did, the latest release of TradeSkillMaster, the desktop application, which is currently Rev 241. So make sure we'll be talking about how to validate that to make sure you have the latest application installed. And then it also goes into some of the pricing information that it actually overviews or incorporates into the algorithm, if you will, for determining pricing. It has some new features, which we're going to talk about right now on this page alone. It has pricing information for global market values, what's currently listed on the auction house for specific items. And it kind of has like an IntelliSense, if you're familiar with code, or like a autofill feature in Windows, where you can actually type through the search feature at the very top of the page in the middle, click on that box, and then you can start to type anything that's currently an item, and you'll see it auto pre-fill based upon, you want to do like a wildcard search, if you will. So we're going to type in just sword, and you'll see it starts populating information based upon the sword. So we're going to scroll down here. Sword's kind of a bad example, so let's do like a helm. We'll do Helm of Narv. I don't know what that is, but we'll click on that. And then it's going to ask you, okay, we got the item. Now which realm are you on? It is realm specific and it's faction specific. And it's zone. You can see EU in here as well as US. So I'm going to pick up Tichondrius, US, and I'm going to do Horde. And then before you know, it's going to populate some awesome information. And we'll talk about this right now. So it's saying right now on the current auction house for Tichondrius US, there's 403 gold. So it gives you a minimum buyout, market value, quantity. Gives you global value, so you can kind of see ranges globally from 403 fluctuation to 497, market value 893 up to 986. Kind of gives you some pricing details, similar to what the deprecated Under My Journal prior gave. This is actually an excellent resource that can compare, if not excel beyond that. And then here it also gives you zoomable charts, which this actually does market value. You can see the colors in the background, market value, You see Tichondrius minimum buyouts. You can see the fluctuation there. You can see global market value as it comes in this green line. You can hover your mouse over it and it'll give you some pricing details. And it actually also gives you sale price, global sale price. And then let's say you're interested in seeing what happened during this peak. You can hold your left mouse button down and you can actually drag. You can see the highlights dot in the form, and you can pull in that peak and it will zoom in. So you can see during the 24th of July and 25th, there was a little spike, and you can see the market value increased a little bit and then it dipped back down. And then the same thing for the quantity. It shows you the quantity that was available during the times. At any point, you notice here was like the peak. You can zoom in on that and say it reached a peak on the 27th and 28th, that there's 2 available. You click the reset zoom buttons and it brings the charts back out. And again, that goes for any item that you can type in here. 3 or more characters, as it mentions, is a minimum that you need to type. And you can just start typing like, let's see, plates. Let's look up ruined or shining silver breastplate. Again, I don't know what these are, but there's the information on it. 1,500 minimum buyouts, market value, all the pricing details and the quantities right there for you at your fingertips, simply by doing a quick search at the top by typing 3 or more characters, and it'll actually start filling or auto-filling that information for you. This other site also has, if you click back on TradeSkillMaster, it also has some add-on type functions where it gives you some guides, it gives you some overviews, it gives you some guides on actually how to use TradeSkillMaster as the add-ons. So you can see awesome video guides by Fat Loots and Silent Thunder, which are phenomenal gold makers in their own name. I'm sure you're highly, you know them, and I highly recommend you watching them video series. You can just click on those links. You can watch mine, which is a fundamental gold making video series. They're all linked to YouTube, and you can watch those. And then you have directly from some of the developers, SapU94, Cryan, Cathroman, Shadam. You can see other supplemental guides right there that are highly valuable, so I highly recommend you watching those. And then if you had any questions, you can actually contact them through the contact link here. And then it goes to FAQs, getting help. One of the important things that I wanted to realize too, guys, is if you click on the site, there's a donate button there too. Obviously, things need to be supported. They've done a phenomenal development effort to bring us to TradeSkillMaster in-game add-ons as well as this desktop application, which all takes a lot of time and effort on people's real-life part. So if you can donate, please click that donate button to support their efforts and to help us have an easier in-game experience. Also, if you need help that's outside of this video that we're walking through right now, I highly recommend you click on the IRC chat link here, and that will basically bring you to the IRC chat room. Once it loads up, and you type your name in here, while Profits, the name of the actual channel is hashtag TradeSkillMaster. Click join chat, and it'll bring you right into the chat channel where the developers are hanging out, and they'll be happy to help you there. You can also bring it up directly through an IRC client if you use that. I use Hex Chat, so I'm typically hanging out in there, but very valuable resource to know from this site that you can get direct support right from the people who actually developed the application. So let's talk about the desktop application. How do I get it? Click on the desktop app at the top, click overview and download. And here it kind of gives you some small screenshots of what the desktop application looks like. Desktop application, aka TSM app, is what it is. It seamless integrates into the TSM add-ons, which are in-game, which provide obviously pricing, crafting, a slew of talent, if you will, or services that you can use while you're in-game in World of Warcraft. Auction updating, it provides backups, it provides accounting. We're going to go over all these features as well. Download is where you're going to actually get the application from. So if you're running Windows, obviously click on that. If you're running Mac, click on the bottom link. When you click on it, it's going to basically, based upon your operating system, it's going to put the actual download into a folder that you prior specified based upon. And it might actually give you a save as link. You can save it any way you want. I put it specifically in my download section. So when you go into your downloads, here's my download section. So when you go into your downloads and you actually right-click, if you're on a Windows operating system, you can right-click and extract, and it will actually put it into a folder basically name of the file. So the file that you're actually going to be downloading is called tsm_app_r241.zip. It's a zip file, which is an archive. Once you extract it, you'll see these 3 files that are in there. All you have to do now is to launch the application, is to double click the TSM app. When you launch that, it will automatically be minimized to your system tray in the lower right hand corner. You'll see this first symbol right here. Click on that, and then it will bring up the window prompting you for a login. When it prompts you for the login, this is the same profile that you used when you created an account on the website. So remember the website, when you came up here and you filled in accounts, the same thing is what you want to use that you use to fill out your account. So you type in your email address, wowprofits@gmail.com. Type in your password, I love wow, and you guys rule, and I make lots of gold and stuff, and hit go. As soon as it comes up, it's going to come up with a terms of service pop-up window from the application. You can click the terms of service, which will bring you back to the page or the consortium, and then you click OK if you agree to the terms of service of the application. And from there, it'll basically be available like this. First thing you want to do when you install the app is make sure at the upper title page you're on R, which is Rev 241. TradeSkillMaster application R241. If that says anything different, restart this video and go back to the beginning and make sure that you're actually downloading the latest version. This R241 might be updated. They do a lot of updates to the application, new enhancements as people are submitting requests for new changes and features. So if you're watching this anytime in the future, today's date is July 28th, 2014. It's 11:13 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're watching this video after that, this R241 will probably be R240 something, or it could be something a little higher than that. So again, this is the rev of the current code that we're talking about in this video, which was the new code that was just released for the TSM application. So here's the main page. You notice, just for navigation purposes, it has 3 tabs. It has app setup / status, accounting, CSV export, backup TSM settings. And each of these is loaded with different features that we're going to go through. So the first tab that you have is app setup. You want to make sure that this is pointing to your WoW directory, your World of Warcraft installation directory of where you actually have it installed on your operating system. If this is not right, or if it's blank, click the change button and then browse through the file navigation to get to the WoW directory, wherever it's at. And then click on the World of Warcraft folder from there, and then from there you should be all set. So I'm going to show you that. Mine is actually installed in the public directory. So users, public, World of Warcraft, click choose, and there it's at. From here, you have options of how it will actually load based upon these 3 check marks. Checkboxes run at startup, which means every time you load your Windows operating system or your Mac, it'll actually run and place itself in the system tray if you have this minimized checked. By default, I believe they're all checked off, and then it's going to start minimized. It's going to be down in the system tray. From here, it's very crucial that you want to set up the realms that you have. The way that this application works now in simple terms is you can think of it as a thin client. This is like the front end to a back-end web page that has full features for you. So through your client or this desktop application, you're making changes that will bring you to the back end at TradeSkillMaster.com, which will allow you to make permanent changes that will be pushed to this client. So for instance, first thing you want to do is click Setup Realms. When you do that, you'll notice a web page will launch. When you launch the web page, if you're still logged in, remember, if you don't see this realm selection page, it might ask you to log in at this point. If it does, just click the login button, enter your email address and the password that you originally picked when you went to TradeSkillMaster.com a couple minutes ago, and you should see this realm selection page. You notice that mine are already set up. So I currently am residing on both sides of Tichondrius US. So let's say we wanted to add Agawin. Well, let's say US or EU. We're going to add a new realm. So select their zone, US, and I'm going to do Altar of Storms. and I'm on Alliance. I'm going to click Add Realm. Notice automatically it adds it here. When it adds it, to get pricing information, you have to make sure that you're checking off these price sources to get these additional sources. Also, to get global data, notice the top line. There's no realm name and there's no faction. The top line is global data. You want to make sure that you're clicking off these two checkboxes right here. By default, they're blank. Check them off. And then make sure when you add your realms, you're checking off these checks as well. So any realm that you're adding, you want to make sure that you're checking off this to get pricing information from WoW Auction and AuctionDB. If you ever wanted to remove, or you don't play in a realm anymore, click Remove, answer the prompt, and it'll automatically remove it from the pricing source. This WoW Auction key is a key that you would use specifically from the site to get this data. So if you check this box and you don't have the key enabled, you won't get that pricing information and you could potentially run into errors. The same thing with AuctionDB, which is through the Curse client. You want to make sure that you actually have, let me pull up my Curse client here. It could look differently based upon your Windows, but fundamentally if you go to TradeSkillMaster, you want to make sure that you have AuctionDB installed and it's updated. Same thing for TradeSkillMaster, as they do and release different features and updates. You want to make sure that all the time that your TradeSkillMaster core add-ons are updated. AuctionDB relates to AuctionDB, and you guessed it, Auction, TradeSkillMaster WoW Auction relates to WoW Auction, as well as the key. The key is, click on this link. It'll bring you to WoW Auction. Notice it's without the A. It's wowuction.com. Basically log in. You can log in with your Facebook credentials, your Gmail credentials, a couple others. Select your realm, and that's basically, again, keyword, type it in, faction specific. There it is. Go to resources at the top, home, professions, broker, reports, global, resources, drop down, left click on data export, right? See, so this is where it's asking me to log in. You can tell by your name. Watch the upper corner when I log in. I'll log in with my Gmail. It's going to basically say, do you want to allow this to have access to your Gmail? It doesn't actually do sensitive information or anything like that. But you can tell that Google, yeah, I'm logged in as well, Profits. On this page, resources, data export, at the bottom, it's very small print, but at the bottom, this is your personal key. You can copy this, and I don't really care because it's not really sensitive. It's just pulling auction data, and it changes based upon functionality in the app. But from here, you can actually go back to your application, which was sitting there on the web page. Let me pull that back up. Hit back. Copy and paste that. Control C for copying it. Go back to the link. In here, right click, paste, or Control V for pasting. Control V, Victor. Control C, copy. Control V, Victor as paste. Update WoW key. Now you should be able to update these functionalities for these pricing data. All you have to do for that. At any time that you come back and you wanted to update that information, this again will bring you to the web page, and you will have to log in and make adjustments on the website, which will then make adjustments on the application and the data that you pull down. So you notice it's already pulling data based upon the realms that I added, even though I'm removing them, which will clean itself up. But automatically, based upon a polling cycle, it will go out and pull pricing for you automatically. There's no longer a requirement to actually scan the auction house. That's the thing of the past, and we're grateful for the team to actually be able to develop this application for us. The next thing that we can actually do is set up deal notifications. Click on that. Again, same thing. It goes to your actual website for TradeSkillMaster.com. It will log you in automatically based upon some caching or cookies or tracking of sessions. You click on your account. Notice I have multiple accounts, and then it's account specific based upon your groups. These are all groups that are in your TradeSkillMaster application. And then all you have to do is enable email notification here, or enable notifications, and it will actually send you, based upon when the items in this group are triggered based upon your operations and your rules on that group. It will trigger a notification to you. So let's say I want to look at dropped pets or mounts. Enable notification, email, and then you'll see that automatically start to send based upon when that information is received. You'll see it actually get in your email box. Again, zone specific, faction specific. You should be all set with that. You could do a lot with this, but right now I believe it's only an email notification. Before it was actually a text message you can get. Now it's currently only email. Maybe future enhancements it will come back to those other features for communication purposes. Account, enable, done. These will eventually turn red as you select them based upon what you're going through. And I'm going to close this down. I'm going to close this down. Browser is completely down now. And again, it'll automatically bring you and launch the browser based upon the realm, or based upon what's actually being brought up. So from here, you can actually go into the second tab. So this is basically the features of the first tab. You can send donations directly from here. You can contact them directly through here. SapU94, which is one of the lead developers, Cryin, the TSM app directly through Twitter. And terms of service, if you still wanted to read that and you have late night, you have sleeping issues, you can read that. Click on the second tab, accounting export, and this is kind of cool. Again, this is our installation directory. Notice there's no other files there. Again, account, you pick your realm. We'll go to Tichondrius, Horde side, and then these allow you to export data into CSV format, which is importable into Excel or some other types of spreadsheet tools based upon your operating system. OpenOffice if you're using Mac, perhaps. But you can actually click which ones you want to do. I'm going to do each one just to show you what it does. Again, this is the actual export direct or the extracted application directory for the TSM app. There's no CSV files in there. As soon as I do export, notice automatically that they're exported in there, and it does this by faction and then realm. So you notice if I change this to be whatever and I export it, it's going to again prefix it accordingly. So if you're working on multiple realms for pricing details, you'll be able to keep track of that. So let's say we want to export, and then you can open up the information based upon what it is. Let's say we want to look at, I don't know, we're going to look at expenses. Double click on that, and it'll actually pull up, automatically pre-fill the columns. Again, I don't play on storm scale, so there's no data there. So let's select Tichondrius, export, and we'll pull up data like this. Once it's in Excel, you can pretty much do anything you want. You can do formulas off of it. You can see what it is. This is my hunter, level 90 hunter called Gank Dirty. Gives you the item name, gives you the item string, the actual string of the item. So 55336 is this specific string for this item. And then you can do translations for time. You can do translations for price. If it had pricing details in it. I believe that was expenses. So let's go to expenses. This is where it has amount. So you do translations on amount. But very cool features. You can do that anything you want. You can do pie charts. You can get as crazy as you want with that type of feature. And it's very quick, as you can see it exported it very fast. And you can do anything you want with that. The last tab is actually the backup capabilities of the desktop application. So from here you can select a backup directory. Right now mine are going to TSM backup. So I'll show you actually what that looks like. And then here you see a whole bunch of .zip files. Inside the zip files, if I click on it, it's actually the lore or the core TradeSkillMaster application add-on features that are automatically backed up for you based upon some settings. So you're going to designate your backup directory. You're going to tell the application how often or how frequently you want to actually do the backups. For me, I'm doing 1 day. Check the box to make sure it's going to do it automatically. If you ever wanted to back up stuff right away, you can click the backup button. It'll do an on-the-fly backup right there. Gives you a cool timer to say when the next backup is going to happen. It's a countdown timer. And then you have retention, how long basically you want to keep backups. To me, I want to keep them for 7 days. After 7 days, start trimming or purging the last one. So I'm always having 7 days backup. And then you can do options. You can go up to 30 days if you want. I mean, whatever you want to do here. Purging is, 7 days is going to start purging the last version. So you always have a running 7 or a running 1 or 30 days. Restore is basically, that's it. You'll actually click the restore button, point to one of these backup files, and it'll restore the information for you automatically. Again, pay attention to the bottom. This is support information from Twitter. Donations, help them out, guys. So that's basically it. This is the TradeSkillMaster desktop application. Again, prices work off of updated add-ons through the Curse client. So always, if you're pricing or you're getting errors, make sure that your auction DB is updated. Make sure your WoW auction, TradeSkill_WoW auction add-on is updated. All the core stuff is updated. Make sure through the setup realms that you actually have the checkboxes for all of ones, including global data. Global data, the top line, check. Your realms, no matter how many realms that you play on, make sure that they're in there. They're faction specific. Region or zone specific, check. And that's it, guys. They should function as accordingly. When you actually log into the client, which I'll log in real quickly here just to show you. Let me pull up my Battle.net client. Once you log into this application, you'll actually see the pricing details automatically. A cool feature too, if you're on Windows 8.1 as a side thing, you can actually add this to your start menu. I've added it to my menu right here, as you can see, just by pinning it. So if I go back to, Tichondrius is actually in a full. That's what you get for playing on a high pop realm. But if you go back to your actual installation directory, mine again is under downloads and it's under the application. You can right click on the application, highlight it, left click, right click, pin to start, and that will actually put it right where it's at, right there. And then from there you can easily just click on it instead of actually trying to find it. Or if you're on Windows 8.1, you can just start typing it, TSM application, and it'll be right there. You can launch it through there too. And that works for anything on Windows 8.1. Almost like the search feature we saw while in game or while on the TradeSkillMaster website. So I'm 23 in queue. We'll see if we can log in. If not, that's basically the end of this video. Again, I wanted to just walk you through the basics of ensuring that you install the desktop application properly, how to validate that you're on the right version, and then obviously to ensure that the pricing information is being pulled down accurately based upon the realm that you have selected, the faction and the zone, WoW auction, auction DB, and global pricing. Let's show you real quick the pricing sources as they appear as you hover over your mouse on an item. This is my level 90 hunter. So I'm going to come to the mailbox real quick. Have anything in my mailbox? It's telling me I do. There it is. Going to pull this information down. And then from here, you basically hover your mouse over it, and you'll see in the tooltips, WoW auction at the bottom, the pricing details. You'll see details on global market values from auction DB. Again, these prices will only come in if you have updated Curse client add-on for TradeSkillMaster, and then those checkboxes have to be enabled. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I hope this video helps you. I'm trying to keep it short. It's about 30 minutes. I'm Profits from WildProfits.com. If you have any questions, can be reached on Twitter @WildProfits. Or you can hang out with me in game if you wanted to get in touch with me there. Send me an email, wildprofits@gmail.com. Or if you need definitely supports from the IRC group, make sure that you go through TradeSkillMaster.com. Click on the actual page at the very top, and it will link you automatically into the application that we can actually talk directly with developers. TradeSkillMaster.com, guys. A login site And there it is. Irc Chat. Hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Thank you very much, and I look forward to supporting you again with another future video about gold making and about TradeSkillMaster. Take care.